Welcome back to the channel. How is everybody feeling? I know how I'm feeling. I'm feeling so great at the moment. It's actually nice to take some attention away from the Premier League, feeling refreshed that actually we're not watching other teams in the semi-final, and it was actually Arsenal who come out on top against Atletico Madrid on the way to Budapest on the 30th of May. And last night was another spectacle to remember, with PSG dismantling Bayern Munich with a very professional, solid one. Oh, I was going to say 1-0 victory, actually, but it was 1-0. But that goal counts for nothing because PSG have qualified on goal difference. Very contrasting game compared to the first one. And, you know, I had a bit of stick from some fans online when I said it was an unprofessional performance in the first leg, because if that had been Arsenal who had performed that way, you know, throwing away a 5-2 victory or 5-2 lead, should I say, to the opposition, then to travel to that opposition's ground, you wouldn't have heard the end of it, you know. But right now we're not even hearing the end of actually getting to a final clean and winning, man. We're getting celebration police and telling us how we should celebrate and what we should do. And to be honest, I'm just looking at, especially these old ex-football players. They're jealous, man. Like, and the thing is, I was watching Wayne Rooney's punditry for the Amazon Prime game and all that. And I was thinking, yeah, you know, he's talking some real facts, man, and he's saying some positive things about Arsenal. But then he had to ruin it and started talking about how we celebrated and stuff like that. And I just thought, come on, man. Like how like, you've been a professional football player before, man, and you know what it's like to make it to a Champions League final, and especially with where we've been as a club. Stop pretending like, you know, Sir Alex Ferguson wouldn't have stood for it, because he would have been jumping up and down as well. Context means everything, especially in life, especially in football as well, man. So let's not go mad and think like, oh yeah, us celebrating and dancing and enjoying the moment, it's like we've done something wrong. Because we saw the same celebrations from PSG last night. That man went down the tunnel and still came back half an hour after the game had been finished to go and celebrate with their fans. You didn't see no headlines, didn't see anyone talking about it. And even last season when PSG beat us in the semi-final at the Emirates, do you know what I mean? You didn't hear no one talking about it then. So, or was it the Emirates or wherever? When they beat us in the semi-final, it was crazy, man. Do you know what I mean? They have every right and deserve to celebrate that moment the way they did, because, you know, it's the most prestigious competition in Europe, in the world. So yeah, that's one thing I'll say about everyone. But anyway, before we get into this video, I've got some news for you. So before we get into the video, sorry, like, comment, share, subscribe. I've got some news just surrounding Arsenal, and we can look at the discourse as well surrounding the games that have just happened. And yeah, maybe a short look ahead to West Ham. Probably not, because I'm going to be doing a preview video tomorrow. But yeah, let's get into it, man. Sorry about that. So, breaking news from Fabrizio Romano. Arsenal plan to advance over talks for a new contract for Mikel Arteta this summer. Initial approaches made in March, but rescheduled for postseason as Arsenal focus remains on UCL and PL title race. Arsenal want Arteta to stay and be key part to their project negotiations to follow after the end of the season to get it done together, man. Now, they've been forcing this news down our throats, man, really trying to get us behind this announcement. And to be honest, we knew it was happening regardless, whether we win the Premier League, whether we win the Premier League or win the Champions League or don't win anything at all. Arteta's here to stay, man. And unfortunately, not even unfortunately, what am I talking about? And that's just how it's gonna go, man. To be honest, there's no way of thinking that, you know, he's gonna leave and stuff like that. He's a pivotal part to why we're at where we're at the moment. It can be frustrating when we don't actually deliver anything. But you know, look what happened to Chelsea, man, with Enzo Maresca, and then getting Liam Rossini, you know, and that was just a whole shit show from start to finish, man. you could even look at Man United with Ten Hag. They weren't doing so bad, going on to win the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup as well. Even though the football was dire, Ten Hag still won things at the club, and it could have been worse. But when you sometimes set your sights ahead, it doesn't always pan out the way you want it to be. They ended up with Ruben Amorim. He was supposed to be the next Jose Merino and regen and whatnot, and obviously that didn't work out. So yeah, obviously they're going to advance it. They're going to announce little bits and bobs and throw out little news bites and see how the fans react. But regardless, he's going to be here after. He's going to be here for the foreseeable future. And it's funny how they decided to just announce it after because they tried it against before the Bournemouth game, and obviously we lost it. So it was a bit like, oh, horror show, whatnot. But it's funny how they've announced it now after we're winning to see if the reception for the manager has changed. And, the club will do things like this. Do you know what I mean? Because, especially the board and stuff, they want to see how he's being received and if the project is still working, because what do you mean project anyway, man? The project it's been done. It's time to win now. So, I want to see how Arteta does, especially if we win now. I want to see how he does to retain and move forward, get almost rebuild the team again, because a lot of the players that have come in, they're broken. A lot of them are aging. And it's just time for some fresh faces, man, some fresh legs, some fresh ideas especially from the front line, man. So it'll be very interesting to see how he moves forward. Is he going to stick with this this sort of pragmatic approach to football? Is he going to go back to the 22-23 years? Or is he just going to sort of make a hybrid model? Sort of like how I look at PSG, because that performance from PSG yesterday was very, 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 very impressive. And when I say impressive, it's stuff that we do on the defensive side. But we've also seen PSG on the attacking sense go gung-ho and blow teams away, man. And I remember the game we played against them last season in the semi-final. And yeah, their press was just so... is conducive the word? Anyway, their press was so coordinated. They pressed together. They won the ball back, and their transition is just, something to marvel at. You know what I mean? Kvaratskhelia against Upamecano yesterday, crazy, man. But anyway, this ain't the PSG show. But yeah, congratulations, Mikel, man. Yeah, man, congratulations, Mikel. Yeah, so yeah, man. What do you lot think about Mikel Arteta anyway? I got something to say about him, man. At the beginning of his reign, I wasn't too sure. Only being that, he had some big shoes to fill. Arsene Wenger, our club's most successful manager, revolutionized the way that the Premier League and a lot of English football, and maybe even a lot of how world football is played nowadays, and brought 3 league titles to the club. I want to say 6 FA Cups, 7 FA Cups. I can't really remember. And the Community Shields, the numerous ones. Got us to a Champions League final also. And then, we had some interim managers in between for the Youngberg just to keep the ship steady. Obviously, that didn't work out after Wenger had... Oh, wait, I'm going wrong way around, sorry. Wenger announced that he's left. Unai Emery had come into the club. And yeah, another manager that we thought we were going to get that, that was gonna, another manager that we thought Arsenal were gonna be in good hands with, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But started off well, got us playing football again. I remember that Fulham game, we got our Arsenal back and stuff like that. But later on, in the latter year of in the season afterwards, should I say, really poor decisions were being made, prioritizing certain trophies, like putting Carl Jenkinson on, Mohamed El-Neni on, and throwing away our top 4 chance, because all we had to do was beat Crystal Palace that day, and we would have had a top 4 place confirmed for a Champions League spot for next season. And he basically threw that game away, all in lieu to look forward to the Chelsea game, which was in 10 days' time after that, only to lose that 4-1. And from then, you know, it went downhill, and the fans were starting to really turn. You know, but still, all in all, Unai Emery is a manager with a lot of pedigree, especially in the Europa League, which we thought he would have been able to win. So yeah, after we depart, Unai Emery and Arsenal parted ways. You know, we had Freddie Ljungberg for a few games, but then we looked to Arteta to take us forward. And yeah, that's a manager I wasn't really fond of, especially with names like Luis Enrique floating about at the time. Even Conte was floating about at the time as a name to replace Jose Mourinho. We were looking for managers who are experienced and winners and had some sort of pedigree in winning trophies. And look, it's worked out anyway, man. But yeah, it was good to see him come in, sort of change the philosophy and how we fought as a club, and almost teach the board how a football club should be run, especially being with Manchester City all those years, seeing their brilliant infrastructure, how things are done on and off the pitch, and bringing that sort of mentality, that winning mentality, that culture back to Arsenal, and changing a few derelict old ways of thinking, old ways that Arsenal were operating. You know, he's won the faith of not just the fans, but also the ownership as well. And Josh Kroenke has obviously invested a lot of time and money in boosting Mikel Arteta. And do you know what? He's made history, man, so far. He's made history, got us back to where we need to be. And some would even argue further. You know, if we win a Champions League and Premier League double this year, I mean, he would have to repeat some feats going forward, but it kind of overshadows what Arsene Wenger may have. I don't want to cause that argument, but he may have overshadowed what previous managers like Arsene Wenger have done. And you know, lo and behold, you know, a double that we've won, an FA Cup, a Premier League, another Premier League, and an Invincible is nothing to laugh and joke about. But do you know what I mean? A Champions League and Premier League double. Also with your FA Cup that you've won previously, and countless community shields. We don't like to talk about that one. And yeah, that will be something really legendary at this club. And yeah, I'm really hoping that, because it's all about Arsenal's interest at the end of the day, man. I'm hoping that this is the start of something new, a start of some sort of dominance, whether it is in Europe or whether it is in the Premier League. And, you know, I'd love to have those years that Manchester City had, you know, especially after 2011. You could see when Pellegrini, 2012, 2011, when they won it for the first time, that was their change. That was their turning point. Even though they missed out a few years after that, but, you know, the foundations were there with the players that they had in their squad. And all it needed was for Pep Guardiola to become available a few seasons later, and the story, you know, murder she wrote with that story, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we don't even have to talk about everything that they've achieved. But yeah, man, long live Arteta, man. If he continues this way, I've got no issues with it. And you know, if it's for the betterment of our club, and like I said, if it doesn't work out, he's created such good foundations at this club to continue on to for us to continue on and, you know, be successful and even succeed further down the line. Do you know what I mean? So big up to him, man. Yeah, man. Let's look at some other news as well. Oh, sorry. What is it? Oh, I'm getting annoyed with this thing. Sorry, guys. Right, here we go. So yes, according to Hand of Arsenal, Mikel Merino has been seen back training on grass. There's been no definitive timeline yet, but the Spaniard is pushing hard to appear before the end of the season. Merino has attended near enough every team meeting possible, being one out of the 7 members of the leadership group, despite his injury. And you know what? Very, very, very good news. I'm not excited, but I'm happy to hear that he'll be back before the season. And I kind of knew that would happen anyway. It was a foot break, nothing muscular. So, just needs bone to heal. I'm saying it like I've broken a bone before, but you know what I mean? But very, very good news. And Merino, when he came and he was supposed to be a midfielder, and I wasn't really happy at first because it looked like he couldn't really handle the pace of the Premier League in midfield. And when we lose the ball in at the halfway line or teams would transition, he couldn't seem to get a foothold in the game and looked very slow to react. And yeah, that was it was looking like a very bad signing. But however, what it took was Merino's performances in Spain, and us not having any striking options because Jesus was injured and Kai Havertz had been injured, and then we looked at Merino's scoring form in Spain and put him up front, and the run he went on scoring, will be unforgettable. And there were a lot of big goals as well, very clutch moments. Very clutch moments that he scored in as well. So I'm looking at also the Newcastle game this season. Very tight game. I think it was 1-1, and then Merino's come off the bench and scored that header to put the game to bed essentially. And I'm happy to see Merino back because especially in these last few games where we may need him, he offers another dynamic. He does drop into midfield well. And he just always seems to win the ball in the air as well. Also, so with his late runs and his shooting technique as well, it'll be a great. It's great news to have him back within the squad. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, old type Mikel Merino, man. But how are you feeling about Mikel Merino coming back, man? Let me know in the comments below. And where does he sort of sit? Oh yeah, another thing I need to add as well. What I like about Mikel Merino is he's got no problem just being a squad player, and that's what we need sometimes. Some players are disgruntled when they're not getting on the pitch enough, but we have a model of not just substitutes and second string players and whatnot. We have our starters and our finishers, and that model's been working. Players like Martinelli who don't complain about game time. Players like Merino. And there's not really many, to be fair, because everybody wants to get on the pitch. But those two are top finishers, should I say, quote unquote, at the club. And that's why I'll probably keep Martinelli as well going forward. But yeah, big up to Merino, man. Can't wait to see you back in the squad. I've got a bit of banter here, nothing really serious. I'm not even going to show you that, man. Forget that one, man. Right, so let's talk about the celebration police, man. I touched a bit about it in the intro of this video, and oh god, everyone's making me so sick, man. They're making me sick, man. So yeah, I went on X this morning. I mean, last night, should I say? Sorry, but obviously this morning as well to prepare for this video. And look what I found, man. So Mr. NUFC Murph, yeah. May 5th, yes. So that was when we obviously were celebrating our qualification. Man decided to say, why are Arsenal celebrating like they've won the UCL? So yeah, Gooner Nick, yeah, big up Gooner Nick. I don't know who you are, but he's gone. Meanwhile, you celebrated something you've never won. Look at this picture, man. I didn't even know, and I was alive these times, innit? But obviously I was very young. I didn't know this happened. What do you mean? They were literally celebrating becoming FA Cup finalists in 1999. Oh yeah, and we were the one that beat them in the final. So they actually had a parade for making the final. And you want to talk about us celebrating actually making the Champions League final? Do you know what I mean? Well, in '98 they did it as well. And you call that a parade? Flipping hell, call that a parade? But big up the Geordies though, man. They just wanted another reason to have a little piss up. Do you know what I mean? And big up to them, man. But yeah, man, some of these fans, especially these new age fans hiding behind these accounts, they need to check their own club's history before they even comment on what Arsenal's doing, man. Do you know what I'm saying? But they all know it generates impressions. Look at that, 1.5 million, man. It generates impressions, rage baiting for clicks and money and whatever. But yeah, man, watch your own squad, eh? Yeah, I just want to look at this video as well, man. So I used to watch ESPN a lot when I was like in the early Unai Emery days, and when the YouTube commentary punditry started going on YouTube more. Anyway, but I just want to watch this video. Yeah, Hand of Arsenal is obviously defending Arteta, because they're abusing him, and just more rage bait from the celebration police talking about how we should celebrate and how we should conduct ourselves on the pitch, especially when we're happy, because they hate one thing that the media and the media discourse hate. The media and the discourse they create is hating the fact that Arsenal were happy and telling us how we should be happy and what we should do in the rare occasions that we are celebrating, and anyway, let's look at this video anyway, man. Very embarrassing. Crazy. Anyway, bro, like that's the headline. That's your what do you call it? I can't remember, but that's your punchline to start the segment about Arteta, man. You talk about punching him in the face, and then you got, I don't even know who this old guy is, this bald guy is. I don't even know who he is. Who is he? He's probably not, I wouldn't say washed up, because I wish I could even be a professional footballer, but he is also a washed up washed up. He's obviously a pundit sitting in his living room in the dark, doing basically what I'm doing. But do you know what I'm saying? I wish, yeah. But but anyway, talking about doing things he wish he could do. Like, I guess he would love to be in Arteta's position on the touchline, running up and down, doing whatever. But the fact that it pisses you off that much, mate, man, come on, man. Come on. Like, what team do you actually support, bro? That's the question, man. And I bet it's like a team that we don't even care for. It'll be like some League One team, or do you know what I mean? So I want to just have to careful what you have to say and talk. Yeah, because it's not warranted, isn't it? It's not really warranted, is it? Talking about punching man in the face and all that, man. As professional pundits, leave that stuff to the YouTubers like me, bladder, because I'll punch you in your face. How about that? Even though you're older than me, respect your elders and that, but this man how you're talking, innit? Don't know. Right. Clarence Seedorf has his say on the celebration police going at Arsenal fans. And he says, I find it strange, very strange, that people criticize Arsenal fans for celebrating a final. He's won this competition. He says, I've won this competition with AC Milan and Real Madrid. Let me tell you, reaching the final is not normal, it's exceptional. If you cannot celebrate that, then you don't understand football. Big up Clarence Seedorf. Bad boy. I don't remember him at Real Madrid though, but I was old enough to remember him at AC Milan, and a bad boy he was. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When you got real good, proper punditry coming from real legends of the game, and it always seems to be the foreign players, like players from other countries, like your Italian players and players from like maybe not even Spain, but it's always players from foreign leagues who don't have this stupid Manchester United bias. I'm still holding the headphones. Why? I'm not even watching nothing. It's got this stupid Manchester United bias, this stupid Liverpool, Tottenham, Chelsea, just cringe UK. You know what I mean? This bias towards Arsenal because they hate us for whatever reason they seem to hate us for, man. So yeah, he's saying people who say don't celebrate, I wonder if they've ever been in the Champions League final, because if you have, you know how many top teams fell before that stage. Respect the journey, then finish the job. And I'm gonna agree with that. We're not saying like we obviously we can celebrate, but don't tell us. obviously we can celebrate, but there's still work to do at the end of the celebrations. But it's still a massive moment, history defining moment to even make the Champions League final. And say like we don't even win it in Budapest, yeah, which I hope we do win it. But just breaking that hoodoo of getting to a Champions League final, it changes a lot. Manchester City, yeah, they're one of the most successful teams now in the world because of their treble success. But before that, they made, I think, what, 2 or 3 semi-finals before that, got to a final after that, lost that final to Chelsea, and then they were successful against Inter Milan, man. So you got to knock on the door before you break through. And of course, we celebrate those moments. I don't even remember how City celebrated that moment because I didn't watch it, bro. Who watches City like that, bro? No one cares for City like that. That's why no one really covers how they celebrate. No one covers what they do. Do you know what I mean? They're just another oil machine that we don't really care about, man. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's why City have been allowed to sort of get away with their antics. Even the bottle you the other day, the man with the bottle, who's also gone quiet, he's on vacation now. Imagine that I was an Arsenal fan drinking tears of like a Tottenham supporter, whoever bottled whatever. Imagine that. You wouldn't hear the end of it. Yeah, that was like prime AFTV shit, man. I could imagine like a RIP. What is his name? What is his name, man? The big guy, man. Boom. Remember that guy? Yeah, prime. That's what that reminded me of, bro. Something that he would do, and we wouldn't have heard the end of it. It would have been all in the Daily Telegraph, the Sun, all that, talking about how insufferable Arsenal fans are, man. Do you know what I mean? Where are we at? 25 minutes. Right. So 25 minutes in, I've got a last little video to watch, man, and it's about the celebration police. And do you know what? Big up to this caller. So we watch Talk Sport. We know how they get down. They know that Arsenal creates the most clicks and the most content views and the most reactions and impressions and whatever in it. At the moment, their current topic is about how we celebrated and whether we over celebrated. So there's this caller. I actually watched the full clip, but I've got the clip of this. Some caller called Alan called in. And before this, there was some rage bait caller, yeah. He was pretending to be an Arsenal fan, but you could tell he wasn't a fucking Arsenal fan, yeah. He had this like Midlands accent talking about how he was cringing. He said he's an Arsenal fan, right? He said he's cringing at the celebrations. Oh, and how we need to make sure we win it first before we can celebrate like that and rare tear. But you can just tell he wasn't a real Arsenal fan, because if he was a real Arsenal fan, you wouldn't be feeling that way. Do you know what I mean? You'll be so excited. You'll be behind the club and understanding and recognizing, the achievement that we've just, witnessed getting into the final. Do you know what I'm saying? So let's just watch this video here and listen to what my man has to say. So yeah, I didn't even finish what I was saying anyway. This guy called Alan, he's called in after to rebuttal what that fake Arsenal fan was saying. But listen to Alan. Exactly. Yeah, meaty. Oh, I wish, you know what? He got him down though, innit? He got him down in it. I wish I actually had the whole video, because the whole video he rips him in it, but it's obviously just the shorts and the shorter version of the clip, man. But yeah, man. Yeah, that was quite fun today, man. Put the headphones down again, man. But yeah, that's the news that I've got so far, man. We've got a massive game against West Ham on the weekend. And in my opinion, if we win that, we basically just party from now, man. Get your merch ready. I keep telling you, man. I bought this top after we got to the semi-finals, yeah, of the second leg, yeah, because I could see something happening. I'm gonna buy all my tops back. I used to have a bag of loads of shirts as well, man. I don't know where that's gone in it. Like, but they probably won't be able to fit me now anyway. But just got to restock, rebuy, and yeah. But come on, boys, man. Four more games left, yeah. Just 4 more games of the season, 3 in the Premier League till we get to glory in the Premier League, and 1 more in the Champions League on the 30th of May, man. It's coming around really quick and fast. And let's just keep getting behind the boys. Let's keep doing what we need to do to make sure that we have one of the most unforgettable Well, Henri said, you know, he was part of the Invincibles, but if we do the unthinkable, we will be the unforgettables. But that's all from me today, folks. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Sorry, we're on 93 subscribers. Yeah, 93 subscribers. Just help me get to that 100 mark, and I'll swear I'll leave you alone. I'll quit my YouTube channel, I promise. But yeah, man, you lot have a good day. I'll have a preview for that West Ham game tomorrow. And come on, boys. Come on, you Gunners, man.